Inferno is a book I recently read, and I'd probably gonna talk about my thoughts about it. My first thing about this book is that if you really like film and you really want to get into reading, this book is written in the form of like a film where there's multiple characters like Stalin, people on the front lines, and the switches between the characters are very like film-like. You get a one scene where someone's about to die and something, and about to blow up a tank, and then halfway through the switch like Stalin being pissed about something. It's very funny. Another thing you probably didn't see from my other video was that there's actually people and characters in the story, and even though I did a whole like brief summary about the overall lore, most of the information given about that is given through like multiple characters on multiple front lines and stuff like that. So there's not really one main character either, it's more like an anthology series. So there's like people on the front lines, like there's one named Logan and Liz. There's like a love story on the German front line. There's also people like I think it's Bartsia, who was like a Soviet general in Armenia. And other people like there's Stalin and Bernie, I forgot his name, in the high command. And there's also Eisenhower and all the people on the US side. And there's just a bunch of characters, and there's even smaller ones sprinkled throughout the entire book, like fighter planes or some people in Iran or Iraq, which would just flesh out the story and allow you to like grasp what's happening. I don't think it's that much filler. Like the book's a pretty short read. It's only like 400 pages, and you'll probably get it through quickly since I only finished in like 4 days, so it wasn't that bad of a read. Besides that, it was a pretty good book. I'd say if you're starting out into alternate history reading and want to pick up something, I'd say pick this book up. I got it from my local bookstore. So the book was also excellently written. I'd say it's very descriptive but not too descriptive, and I think it's a very casual read. I did get bored at times when there was a bunch of filler, like, I don't want to spoil it too much, but near the end of the book, it was getting a bit boring since it was, like, very repetitive, but they managed to change up the status quo. Another thing I'd like to say is that the video I made about the story does not spoil the main story at all. Like, what the characters are doing and the characters are saying is barely mentioned in that video, and most reviews, I'd say, probably wouldn't talk about it. Besides, like, that one general on the Western Front, there's a lot of characters that I don't mention, like, and a lot of plot points. And the main story isn't even about them making it to Berlin. It's just about them trying to like survive in like from the Soviet like attack on the American forces, right? Another thing to talk about the American forces. This book is very America-centered. My video was a very America-centered video, as you could tell, and you might criticize me for that, but that's because the book was just centered around America. We get mentions of de Gaulle, the British, and other people, but the main forces, the main people, the main like political figures are literally just the USA and USSR, because I'm guessing Cold War politics, whatever, blah blah. You know what I mean? So if you don't like that, I guess that's an issue for you, but I didn't really mind it, so I didn't really care. Like, all the ground forces were just American. Everyone mentioned was American. I don't know if the French or British were just tired at this point or something, but like, I'm not too sure either. Alright, so a solid read. I'd say it's a solid 7.5, 8 out of 10. It's not that good, but it's not something you'd hate or just find mid, right? It was pretty good, so I'd say around 7.5 out of 10.